The Cleveland Browns have officially handed the keys to QB1, not to Joe Flacco, not to the safe choice, and definitely not to Mr. Clipboard himself, Dillon Gabriel, but to the rookie with a legacy, a cannon arm, and a chip on his shoulder the size of Ohio. Shedeur Sanders is starting Week 1. Against the Bengals. Against a division rival. Against all odds. And the chaos? Oh, the chaos is already raining down like confetti in reverse. Let's unpack this volcanic quarterback soap opera in real time, shall we?
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
It all started when the coaching staff walked into the facility this morning with one thing on their mind: make a statement. And boy did they. No leaks. No teases. Just a blunt force football decision delivered straight to the locker room, and immediately followed by the sound of Dillon Gabriel slamming the door on his way out. Yes, that Dillon Gabriel. The reliable, playbook-loving, always-on-time third-stringer who genuinely thought he was QB1 material. The guy who played every preseason snap like it was a job interview and brought spreadsheets to quarterback meetings. You could almost hear him internally screaming, "But I followed the process." And then Shedeur got the nod. Dillon? He didn't just take it personally, he took it publicly. Bolted from the building. Phones lit up. His agent is already sniffing around other teams. Reporters are camped outside the facility like it's a high school breakup. Welcome to the Browns, baby. But let's be real, this isn't just some petty locker room squabble. This is the Browns fundamentally rewriting their entire philosophy in one fell swoop. They didn't just choose Shedeur over Dillon. They chose risk over safety, swag over structure, potential over process. And that's a revolution. Let's talk about what really drove this decision. Shedeur Sanders absolutely cooked in the preseason. We're talking highlight reel throws, next-level pocket movement, absurd composure under pressure, and the kind of leadership that makes grown men shut up and listen. This wasn't hype, it was performance. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco looked like your uncle trying to order from a digital menu. Safe, steady, occasionally effective, but in a league that demands fireworks, Flacco brought a flashlight. And Dillon? Solid. Steady. Boring. Like watching someone fill out tax forms in real time. Not bad, but in today's NFL, not bad just doesn't cut it. So when the Browns brass looked at the Bengals on the schedule, stared into the terrifying orange and black abyss of Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase, they had a choice. Go with what's safe, or go with what could be special. They picked Shedeur. And not a moment too soon. The locker room? It was already tilting in his direction. Veterans were calling him a leader. Receivers were practically begging for him to start. You could feel the energy shifting all camp. It wasn't a matter of if, but when. But the front office knew this decision wasn't just about football. It was about optics, identity, and yes, politics. Because let's not pretend Shedeur's path to QB1 wasn't paved with drama. Ownership had their fingerprints all over this mess. For weeks, rumors swirled that Jimmy Haslam wanted a more traditional QB room. Flacco, Gabriel, maybe even Arch Manning down the road. That old-school, golf course kind of stability. But the coaches? They watched the tape. They saw the fire in Shedeur's eyes. They saw the way he handled blitzes like a vet, the way he stood tall after taking hits, the way he refused to back down. They knew. And this time? They won. That's huge. That's power shifting in real time. It's the coaching staff planting a flag and saying, "This is our team now." But don't think for a second that this decision comes without consequences. Because the second Shedeur takes that first snap, every mistake will be amplified, every interception will be dissected, every awkward scramble will be a headline. This isn't just a game, it's a referendum. A referendum on development versus destiny. On raw talent versus safe hands. On whether a rookie can really walk into the AFC North, one of the most violent and unforgiving divisions in football, and not just survive, but win. But let's be honest. Shedeur lives for this. This kid was raised in the spotlight. Pressure? It's just background noise. And yet somehow, he's still been underestimated at every step. Too flashy. Too confident. Too Dion's son. Drafted in the 5th round like someone forgot to watch his actual film. But he's got a chance to rewrite that entire narrative in 4 quarters. And if he lights it up against Cincinnati? Legacy. And oh, don't think the Bengals aren't sweating just a little bit. They prepped for Flacco. They studied tape from 2012. They're used to quarterbacks who stand still and wait to be tackled. But Shedeur? He extends plays. He throws on the run. He makes things weird. He brings chaos, and defenses hate chaos. The playbook? It's getting flipped upside down. The offensive staff is installing new looks, new motion, and new improvisation packages that only Shedeur can run. Suddenly, the Browns don't look like the Browns. They look dangerous. And that brings us to Dillon Gabriel, formerly QB3, now possibly just gone. Look, it's easy to clown on Dillon for storming off like he just got voted off a reality show. But let's be fair, this dude believed he had a real shot. He played the long game. Did the reps, said the right things. He's not just upset. He's heartbroken. But the NFL doesn't wait for feelings. This is a league that rewards flashpoints. And right now, Shedeur is the flashpoint. If he succeeds, the Browns become a case study in betting on talent, not tenure. If he fails, the vultures will circle. The told you so's will pour in. And the Browns will go back to the drawing board for the 1000th time. But the fact that they're willing to take this risk? That means something. It means they finally understand the moment. The NFL has changed. It's not about waiting 5 years for a quarterback to develop. It's about who can win you games now. It's about juice. And Shedeur? He brings it by the gallon. He's not a project. He's a presence. And when he walks onto that field this Sunday, it won't just be a debut, it'll be a declaration. That the Browns are tired of playing scared. That talent matters more than pedigree. That leadership, swagger, and results can win over even the most cursed franchise in football history. And if Shedeur Sanders goes out there and balls out, you won't just remember this moment. You'll remember everything that came before it, the doubt, the disrespect, the practice squad whispers, and you'll watch him turn it into fire. So go ahead, Bengals. Load the box. Blitz the rookie. Try to rattle him. Because Shedeur Sanders has been preparing for this moment his entire life. And Cleveland? Cleveland might finally have its quarterback. Now drop your takes in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and buckle in. Because this Sunday, it's not just a game. It's the start of a new era. The Browns have finally thrown caution out the window and doubled down on chaos, and it's beautiful. For a franchise that's been historically married to heartbreak, forever cycling through quarterbacks like bad Tinder dates, this moment? This is a plot twist. One that comes with real stakes, real spotlight, and real heat. Shedeur Sanders isn't walking onto that field in Week 1 just as QB1. He's walking in as a walking referendum on everything the NFL thinks it knows about rookies, leadership, and quarterback development. And he's doing it against the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that's been in a Super Bowl more recently than the Browns have been in a stable relationship with a quarterback. That's not just a tough matchup, that's a televised trial. The lights will be bright. The cameras will be rolling. The takes will be sizzling. And right behind Shedeur on the sideline, Joe Flacco, the football equivalent of a comfortable pair of orthopedic shoes. Dependable, experienced, uninspiring. The safe backup option, watching quietly as a 21-year-old in designer cleats tries to ignite a fan base that's been hurt more times than it can count. You can feel the pressure radiating off this game already. And don't forget, this whole thing was triggered by Shedeur's performance in the preseason, which wasn't just good. It was electric. We saw flashes of something different. Not just, he can read a defense, or, his timing is okay. No, we saw a quarterback who could create something out of nothing. Who extended plays with that Mahomesian confidence. Who didn't panic when the pocket collapsed. He danced out of it, looked downfield, and dropped dimes like he was born to do it. But what separated Shedeur wasn't just the arm talent. It was the calm. This kid has composure like he's already seen the movie before. He's not afraid of the moment. He is the moment. And that's what made it impossible for the Browns to ignore. For all the whispers about, maybe we should wait, or Flacco brings experience, Or, Dillon knows the system. There was one undeniable truth sitting in the tape room. Shedeur gives them the best chance to win. And that's what this league is really about. Forget the depth charts. Forget the contracts. Forget the politics. At the end of the day, the NFL is a results business. You win, you stay. You lose, you fade. And the Browns? They're tired of fading. They've tried every other route. Overhyped veterans. First-round busts. Quiet system guys. It hasn't worked. So now, they're handing the keys to a rookie with swagger and scars, and hoping that confidence translates into something they haven't seen in decades. But it wouldn't be the Browns if this wasn't messy. Let's go back to Dillon Gabriel for a second. The man has basically become the face of collateral damage in the new QB era. He did everything right, if you believe in the old-school NFL playbook. Came in humble. Learned the system. Didn't make waves. Practiced like his life depended on it. And in return, he got leapfrogged by a rookie with a bigger name, bigger following, and, let's be honest, a much bigger game. And when that depth chart dropped, Dillon didn't stick around to clap. He walked out. Stormed out of the facility like he'd just been left at the altar. No comment to the media. No handshake with Shedeur. Just silence and a slammed door, followed by immediate reports that his agent was already fielding calls. And you know what? Let him be mad. Because that moment, Dillon's exit, is the perfect illustration of what's happening in the league right now. It's not just about talent anymore. It's about presence. It's about juice. And if you don't bring that extra something to the table, you're always one hot preseason away from being replaced by someone who does. That's not just on Dillon. That's on the system. The Browns didn't draft Shedeur to sit forever. They drafted him because he has it. And it? You can't teach that. But what happens next? That's the real question. If Shedeur lights up the Bengals? If he makes defenders miss, throws lasers across the middle, and leads the Browns to a win? Everything changes. Suddenly, he's not just QB1. He's the face of the franchise. He's the guy. The one the locker room rallies around. The one the media starts pushing for endorsements. The one opposing teams actually have to game plan for. But if he stumbles? If the game moves too fast, the pressure gets to him and he throws a couple bad picks? The noise will be immediate. The calls for Flacco will be loud. The second-guessing will be vicious. Because this isn't just a start, it's a trial by fire. And in Cleveland? Fire burns hotter. But here's the part no one's talking about. Shedeur's ready for this. His entire life has been leading up to this moment. Not just because of DILLON. Not just because of the cameras. But because this kid has already weathered more scrutiny than most pros face in a decade. From high school hype to Jackson State headlines to the Colorado circus, he's had the media at his door since he was 16. And still, he's standing. Still, he's smiling. Still, he's competing. And now, he gets to show that he's not just a media darling. He's a real deal, big stage, NFL caliber quarterback with something to prove. And what better place to do that than in Cleveland? A city that's been waiting for a savior since before cell phones existed. A fan base that's been burned so many times, it's practically flame-resistant. You show out here? You're a legend. And let's talk about the bigger picture for a second. Because this isn't just about the Browns. This is a blueprint. What happens if Shedeur succeeds? What happens if Cleveland's gamble pays off? You know what happens. Other teams start copying it. The NFL starts looking at young QBs differently. Confidence isn't punished, it's rewarded. Swagger becomes a plus. Teams stop overinvesting in projects and start trusting guys who can ball now. And Shedeur? He becomes the model. The face of the movement. A player who didn't wait to be handed the throne. He took it. So as we head into week 1, let's call it like it is. This isn't just the Browns starting a rookie. This is a revolution. It's the end of the wait your turn era. It's the start of the prove it right now era. And Shedeur Sanders? He's not just ready. He's coming for everything. Shedeur Sanders is QB1. Week 1. In Cleveland. Against Joe Burrow. With Joe Flacco holding a clipboard. And Dillon Gabriel halfway down the 71 probably screaming into his steering wheel. You really couldn't script it better if you tried. Actually, no, scratch that. You couldn't script it. Because if you walked into HBO and pitched this whole scenario as a new season of Hard Knocks, Apocalypse Edition, the execs would tell you to tone it down. Too unrealistic, they'd say. No team is that dysfunctional. And yet, here we are. The Cleveland Browns, who have made a career out of quarterback chaos, have gone from safe and boring to full Hollywood reboot. We're talking main character energy. We're talking bold, reckless, maybe genius storytelling. And the protagonist? A 21-year-old rookie with NFL pedigree, perfectly arched eyebrows, and a cannon for a right arm. Shedeur Sanders. But let's not lose the thread here, because this story, this moment, isn't just about a starting quarterback decision. It's about everything bubbling under the surface in Cleveland right now. Ownership versus coaching staff. Old school versus new wave. Development versus disruption. The front office wants consistency. The coaching staff wants firepower. And somewhere in the middle is this kid, poised, polished, and completely unbothered. He's not asking for permission. He's taking the opportunity. And the scariest part for the rest of the league? He might just be ready. Let's talk pressure. Because this isn't some soft landing. This isn't a Week 4 start against the Panthers or a warm-up game against the Texans. This is the Cincinnati freaking Bengals. Joe Burrow. Charges. Prime-time offense. Physical defense. Division rivalry. No room for mistakes. No time for nerves. And Shedeur's response? Silence. No panicked interviews. No nervous tweets. No cryptic Instagram captions. Just work. Just confidence. Just Shedeur being Shedeur. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel is somewhere trying to get in touch with his old college OC, and Joe Flacco is adjusting the strap on his headset, probably wondering how he ended up back in another rookie drama when all he wanted was a decent retirement plan. You know what makes this whole situation so absurdly delicious? The Browns didn't even try to soften the blow. They didn't slow-walk this decision. They didn't dress it up as rotational reps or a long-term development plan. They came out and said it. Shedeur Sanders is starting. Joe Flacco is his backup. Dillon Gabriel is out. One move. No safety net. No PR fluff. Just raw quarterback controversy exploding into full-blown football spectacle. And let's be honest, for the first time in what feels like forever, it doesn't feel like the Browns are playing scared. It feels like they're trying to make a statement. Because this isn't just about winning games. It's about reshaping their identity. For decades, the Browns have been the league's tragic punchline. Bad draft picks. Coach turnover. Quarterbacks who come and go like seasonal beverages. But now they're putting their faith in a rookie with a camera crew and a bloodline. And the locker room? Oh, you better believe they're watching. Because here's the truth, NFL players know when a guy's got it. You can't fake it. And Shedeur? He walked into that facility with it tattooed on his demeanor. The veterans noticed. The receivers started running cleaner routes. The offensive line picked up the tempo. There's a gravity to him. A sense that something different is happening. Not because he talks big. Because he backs it up. And if you think that locker room isn't behind him, you haven't been paying attention. You think these guys want to block for a 38-year-old statue or a third-stringer with clipboard energy. They want someone who's gonna fight. Someone who's gonna run. Someone who's gonna turn a broken play into a highlight reel. And Shedeur? That's exactly what he brings. Let's talk strategy. Because the Browns didn't just name a starter, they overhauled the game plan. Word is, they've redesigned the offense around Shedeur's mobility, his ability to extend plays, and his knack for improvisation. We're talking bootlegs, rollouts, movement, pace. This isn't the same dusty playbook Flacco was running. This is new. This is fresh. This is dangerous. And yes, that means growing pains. There will be ugly throws. There will be misreads. There will be rookie moments where the broadcast team sighs loudly and says, "That's a throw he'll want back." But there will also be sparks. The kind of flashes you can't teach. The kind of plays that make you sit up on your couch and say, "Wait, did he just do that?" And the city of Cleveland? They're starving for it. Because when was the last time this franchise had a quarterback you believed in? Not just hoped for. Not just tolerated. Believed in. It's been years. maybe decades. And now, for the first time in forever, they've got a kid who makes the stadium buzz before he even takes a snap. Let's not sugarcoat it. The Bengals are no joke. They're gonna test Shedeur. They're gonna disguise coverages, bait him into mistakes, pressure him from all angles. This defense isn't showing up to welcome him with cupcakes. They're coming to eat. But that's the crucible. That's the trial. And if Shedeur survives it, if he walks out of that game with a win, or even a gutsy, battle-tested performance, he won't just be the starter. He'll be the guy. And once a quarterback becomes the guy in Cleveland, it's not just about football anymore. It becomes legend. It becomes lore. You could go 7-10 and still be a hero if you bring hope. And Shedeur? He doesn't just bring hope. He brings belief. And yet, just one bad throw, one ugly pick, and the knives come out. The old-school media will say he's overrated. The front office will squirm. And Jimmy Haslam will quietly ask his scouts for another update on Arch Manning. Because that's how this works. The pressure never goes away. You either rise to it, or get crushed beneath it. But if there's one thing we know about Shedeur Sanders, he doesn't fold. He's been under the microscope since high school. Survived the chaos of Colorado. Navigated the weight of Deion's name while building his own. And now he's got the entire city of Cleveland on his back and half the internet watching. And somehow, he looks calmer than anyone else in the room. So when he steps onto that field Sunday, under those blinding lights, facing one of the best teams in the AFC, he won't flinch. He'll deliver. Because this isn't just a debut. It's the start of a new era.